Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at VECHAIN again. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so there's a few things we need to talk about within the structure. There's a couple of ways we can look at this. We can potentially look at this either as a 5-wave move completed into here, or alternatively a move completed into this high. So the reason I don't like looking at this as a fifth wave here is only because of the fact that if we look at this as a 1, 2, this would have to be our 3, then we'd have this as a bigger fourth wave here, and then we'd have this fifth wave up here. So it is quite a large fourth wave here in comparison to this wave 2, so it's not my favorite interpretation of it. Rather, what I'm looking at this as currently is either that potentially we could have this as a 1 and a 2, and then potentially forming another 1, 2 here. And then we look for that move to the upside as an impulse. Or alternatively, this could just be a purely corrective move. And this C wave over here has actually just failed to reach its 1-to-1 target, which would be this 36.31. And then what we'd be looking for if that was the case is that potentially the C wave is actually completed here at the 786 of that A wave. So this is a possibility where we could just have this as a 3-wave move up here. And then what we could be looking for is a B wave retracement. So what I'm looking out for here effectively would be to see if we come back into this zone here. So this zone would be this 50% to the 786 here, with the golden pocket being in the middle here, this 20,044 to this 1995 area. So this would be a golden pocket in here. It's an interesting area to keep an eye on if we do move down into there. However, what would be interesting within these price points out of that we have here is this 50% also is an interesting zone to me, because this would also be a B wave low. So if we do get a move back down here, we could actually look to retest this B wave and get a reaction off of that. So we need to just give it a bit of space and see how that plays out. Like I said, there is also that potential we could look at this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we could be looking for a bigger move to the upside here. So yeah, we just got to be a bit cautious with this move here and see exactly what we get here. So within this, what I'm currently looking at is, if I come down here into the smaller time frame. So there's a couple of things we need to talk about. There is this scammy little wick on here, which isn't on other exchanges, so I'm disregarding it, because on the other exchanges we don't have this wick, so I'm not taking that into account. But what I was looking at is the fact that this is an A wave here, a B, and then we're looking for a C wave here. So for the most part, we can argue that this is completed, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3 down here, 4, and then this wouldn't be the cleanest 5-wave structure, and it's making me a little bit suspicious of it. But technically speaking, we could argue that within this we had a 5-wave move, where we count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to the downside. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on here. I'm also just being a little bit skeptical in case we do have this as an A, a B, and a C, and we're actually going to form a flat and look to push up towards this zone here of this 2695 to this 2609. So that would be looking for an expanding flat, where we look for 5-wave structure here. And what we'd want to see is basically see a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5-wave move up into this top channel line again, and then potentially looking for that rejection from there. If we did see something like this play out, so if we do get a 5-wave move to the upside here, we still need to be a little bit cautious, because what we could argue is, instead of hitting an ABC here, this could actually be a WXY, where the last wave is, instead end of looking to end in a 5-wave structure, is going to end up in a 3-wave structure, and then this would be an A wave, a B wave as a flat correction, and then that continuation in a C wave. So that's something that we need to just keep an eye out. If we do move up back into that channel and we get rejection off the top again, potentially we could see a drop back down towards this 2198 region, which would actually bring us back into this potential 50% mark, which would be this 2234. So that's what I'm currently looking for within this. There is the potential, like I said, we can argue that this is an ABC into here. And if we want to look at it in that way, what we would be looking for is the potential to actually, either we've got two options. Either this is a B wave of this move, and we're going to look to push up again. So we're going to go over that in a second. Or alternatively, this could be an A wave here, we get a three-wave move to the upside here into this zone of this 3044 to this 2783. Particularly this 618 might be an interesting area here, depending on how exactly we get up here. But if we only get a three-wave move to the upside, then it would be potentially possible for us to get continuation to the downside and actually look to push lower down into this support range that we're looking at, and then maybe we would move down more towards the 618, which would be at this 2044. So that's what I'm keeping an eye out at the moment. If we do start to move to the upside here, this is potentially where we would be looking for as a potential rejection zone. But before that, we'd have to be cautious of this top channel line here, and this zone here of this 2695 to this 2609. If we just get a singular five-wave structure to the upside here, we form something like this up here. What we will have to do is watch the retracement of this move. If we start to break down in five-wave structure again, potentially then we would be looking for this for continuation of this as an a B, and a C to the downside. So keep an eye on this zone. It could also tie in with a retest of this channel which we've lost, or alternatively, like I said, this channel we're currently following to the downside. Yeah. I do have this orange box here highlighted as well, just because there is a little bit of strange structure towards the top end of this move. I was looking at this as a diagonal for one, but potentially we could also argue that within here, I don't really like doing it because it makes this move a bit large, but we could argue there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, and then potentially we've got another fourth wave in here and a fifth wave. So this would be that zone that it would typically get redirected from this 2545 to this 2444. So that's why I've got this marked up here. If we only have a smaller three-wave move into this zone and we don't actually progress up here, then that would be potentially what's going on, and we just have another fifth in here, where this would become a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth to the downside. So that's what we're keeping an eye on within this structure. If we do have this additional move here, potentially we could look for another drop here towards the zone of this 2323 to this 2271 area for a fifth wave. So I'm going to keep that on there. If we do have an additional drop here off of this 382, this 2499, what I'd be looking for is potential to actually come down in one more five-wave move into this range of this 2323 zone. So obviously if we do move down like that, then basically what I'd be looking for would be that this C wave could then potentially complete lower down here, and then we could be looking for either this B wave to the upside, or alternatively, we could be looking for that more bullish move, which we're going to go over now. Okay, so the more bullish way we were talking about this was looking at this move in this way. So if I just come out here slightly, looking at this as a 1, 2, and then potentially setting up for another 1 and a 2 here. So this is something worth keeping an eye on. We have actually come down into this zone of the 786 here. So, technically speaking, we have actually retraced enough here within the structure that we could look for this to actually continue to move back to the upside now, where this is A, B, and a C. We don't have any confirmation yet, and like I was saying earlier, we've got to get a move up above some of these key areas before we can start to get too bullish. These swing highs, for as long as we remain below them, there's always that potential that we could look to continue to extend to the downside. So we'd want to start to see a break above these zones, and then potentially, if this is the case, what we'd be looking for would be potentially to look to break back into this channel. And then look to move away from it. So, we need to overcome obviously the descending channel we're in. But yeah, there's a few things that would have to happen here, and we'd want to see good five-wave structure. This would be a third of a third wave, so we'd be anticipating good volume to come in once it's formed its structure here of that first 1 and 2, and then basically looking for that bigger, more powerful third wave to the upside. So off of our current location, we'd actually have to move up to this 43.99 as a zone for a confirmation of this third wave, and then we'd be looking for that additional confirmation of the fourth and the fifth to the upside. So that's what we'd be looking for if we were looking for the direct push to the upside from our current location. But yeah, we just need to be a little bit cautious, because we could also start to develop some impulsive movement to the downside. So this move is only valid for as long as we stay above this 22.12 range. If we break that, it would invalidate this potential of extending, and we would have to treat this as then a completed move into here, and then we'd be looking for whether this support range holds this 22.34 to this 18.01. If this fails to hold, if we start to break down and we start to lose this lower line here of this 18.01, then it becomes more likely that we are in fact going to be following one of those other options that we've talked about previously within the videos, that where we say that this fifth wave is not completed yet, and we were looking at this, arguing that we could actually still have a diagonal in here where this becomes a 1 and a 2, and then we actually form more 5-wave structure here, which would actually set to push us down deeper here. That was the one alternative. Alternatively, what we're saying is that we could actually also have this fourth wave shift over here, and this becomes an A, a B, and a C as a flat correction here, where this becomes a running flat in this case because we failed to take the high, and then actually we look to push one more time down for that fifth wave. So these are a couple of the options that we are currently looking at within this structure. So we just got to keep a little bit of an eye out on these, and see whether we actually look to break down lower here and whether these support zones can hold. If we start to lose that zone, like I said, of that B wave location, which would be that this one, this 22.34 to this 18.01, that would indicate that we would have some potential to extend to the downside here. So with that in mind, I am just starting to track the potential of having extensions within the waves. There isn't really anything indicating this at the moment, but if we do start to break down past this 2141, then we could argue that within the structure we could have some moves here where we get some 1-2s, 1-2, and then we get this bigger drop down here. So like I said, at the moment there's nothing really indicating it within the structure, unless we wanted to really get into some micro counting and say that potentially there's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 here, in which case we would be getting successive fourths and fifths here and actually looking to push down. So if we fail to actually do this, um, invalidation of this would come actually only by really breaking back above this 28.64. But there's nothing really within the count that's indicating this is what's going on, and we have these extensions as of yet. But if we do continue to get rejected and we fail to keep taking these highs, this could become a viable count in the future, where, like I said, we look at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we get another fourth and a fifth, then we get another fourth and a fifth, and then that could actually bring us down into this zone here of this 21.41. If we do move down to that 21.41, moving back above this zone of this 26.14 would invalidate the idea of having these fourths and fifths here. However, if we did actually move back up into this zone of this 24.75 to this 22.92, we could actually look for that continuation down. So at the moment, it's going to be important to see whether this primary support zone holds from this 23.40 zone. If we start to break down below this, it starts to become less likely that we are actually going to follow this one out. But yeah, invalidation only really comes past this 22.12. And then if we lose that zone, what my next point of support would be looking for would be potentially this lower region here of this 22.34 to this 18.01. But what we need to be aware of, like we said previously in the video, even if we do get a 5-wave structure up here, need to be aware of that it could face a rejection in this 26.95 and look for that continuation down as a W, X, and a Y or an ABC rather, but this whole move would then become a WXY. And yeah, if we do move up, that would be also a zone we need to watch out for rejection, 30.44 to this 27.83. So keep an eye out on these areas. It's going to be important how we get there. If we just form 3-wave structure to the upside, we need to be concerned with continuation to the downside after that. Everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT in the description. Check them out. They are great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out. Like I said, using the affiliate link helps support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.